Les Miserables is opening. We talk about movies from family-friendly standpoint, so I'd love to hear about that. But just your review of it in general, and then if kids should come along, what age group are we talking about? You know, what do you think?
Well, this is a musical. It's most likely going to be nominated for Best Picture. It's an incredible, incredible story. Let's just go back to the story. Victor Hugo, writing about the French Revolution, and Jean Valjean and the fact that he stole bread. He serves 19 years in prison. He's on parole. He steals from a Catholic bishop, and when he's caught, and the Catholic bishop actually says, "Oh, I gave him those things. And in fact, he should have taken the candlesticks. You know, Jean Valjean, why didn't you take the candlesticks? I told you to take the candlesticks." Mm-hmm. And in that moment of grace, it changes Jean Valjean's life forever. And then he's just a very, very different person, including adopting the daughter of a prostitute. Mm-hmm. Now, the music is good. Anne Hathaway's song, I Dreamed a Dream, I've probably listened to it 5 times on YouTube since. It's not the whole thing, but it's like 2 minutes of it, and it's incredible, very emotional, and I love it. But I'm a little reluctant to recommend this film without a word of caution. Number one, if I am going to recommend it, it's going to be somewhere around the age of 17 or 18 on up. Not my typical 12 or 13 on up. And that's because of some, let's just call it some raw sensuality. Okay. I understand why Tom Hooper went there at least one time. The second time was more gratuitous, but it was a bit of a disappointment. Now, that said, I just rewatched the 1998 Liam Neeson, Claire Danes version, Jeffrey Rush. This one, 12 on up. Okay. Much more family friendly. The messages are still there. You know, the legalism versus grace. Mm-hmm. All that is powerfully here as it is in the musical. It's just that, again, as we're looking for families, I'm trying to see this through the eyes of a family. I just know that if my son was 12 years of age again, I would not want him to see the Les Mis that I just saw in the theater. But I would be happy to say, let's watch this together. So
that's good to know. It sounds like what I hear you saying about, well, let's bring out the 2 Les Mises, because, you know, you use the example of the 98 version. Of course, Liam Neeson is one of my favorite actors of all time, so I have a hard time saying anything even negative about him, but it sounds to me like the new Les Mis is this massive, grand, epic, cinematic event, you know, which I think they probably tried for a little bit in that 98 Les Mis, but it's not as kid-friendly, whereas the 98 Les Mis may not be as big of an event and may not have won any Academy Awards, but it's safer for your junior hire to be there with you at.
That you've nailed. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. And I would also add one more thing. Someday, when the musical is available on a DVD, it's not going to take very much editing to, so a ClearPlay machine type thing would make that version a very family-friendly event. But I'm thinking of 2 scenes in mind, and that again, I wouldn't want my son, if he was 12 or 13 or 14, he actually did attend with me. My son is 22. Okay. That I felt was appropriate. But if he was 12 or 13 or 14 again, I would not have taken him.
Wrong age. Well, never mind the fact that 98 Les Mis is a whole lot cheaper if you're gonna if you want to watch Les Mis with your family. Now, if you want a date night, maybe the new one's something to think about with your wife. But
exactly,
if you're gonna have 2-3 kids and want to watch Les Mis, maybe rent the movie.
Yeah, and you're right. So much cheaper, and you pop your own popcorn. It's the better deal, and it is just a great film. It really, really is. Yeah. There's nothing cheesy about this film.
Well, not with Claire Danes, Jeffrey Rush, and Liam Neeson. They're not going to blow it.
No.
and it's a great story. I mean, you start with a great story. So,
yeah.
Well, all the reviews, guys, for everything, I mean, I'm telling you, music and movies and video games and so much more is at PluggedIn.com. There's the Plugged-In apps, which are great to take along with you this holiday to check out what's out there. And even for DVDs, Bob, which I love that you guys keep your catalog of that. Because you can go, hey, my kids want to watch this movie from 5 years ago. What's it all about? Find it there, too.